Welcome back to Shadows Over Loathing. I'm going back to the quarry to fight all of those flies so I can feed those frogs, because I'm quite guilty over it, understandably, and I'd like to make recompense. As you're on your way to the quarry, those talking frogs wanted you to go to, you stop to consider how strange the situation you've gotten yourself into is. This is interesting because I left there and went to the quarry, but a little bit out of order, and so this never happened? Is that the only way that would happen, is doing that in that order? Even though I've, resolved the quest to a certain extent? I don't know. It's just almost never that one of these random encounters opens with such a specific sequence like that. You've started out of your reverie by the smell of smoke. You've stumbled upon a recently abandoned campsite. Maybe there's a clue towards where Charles went. An abandoned campsite. Oh, I have to go check it out. Alright, I guess I'm on it. Another one of these Gatorman campsites. Maybe this one is the ones who kidnapped Charles. Investigate. It's another camp, alright, and there's 4 more wrenches. They're all one shy every time, and they're like getting increasingly finer, larger. Okay, Charles must carry one heck of a toolbox. The wrenches are laid out in the shape of an arrow, pointing towards a nearby hill. From the top of the hill, you can see some sort of fort in the distance, apparently hammered together out of rusty scrap metal. That's gotta be where the Gatorman took him. You grab all the wrenches and combine them with the other ones he dropped to complete the set. A quest item. Charles dropped all these wrenches as clues to help you find him. Return the set to Charles when you find him. This place is too cramped for your tastes. It's literally the only thing here, I think. This place is too cramped for... You mean too camped? No, I don't actually mean that. Ooh, dead center. But we'll go to the quarry. A spot of color in the drab swamp catches your eye, and you find a pile of withered orange husks in front of a shallow cave. This must be the lair of the chupacabra. Unfortunately, it isn't home right now. Or maybe, since you aren't an orange, it wouldn't be dangerous to you anyway. That almost certainly isn't true. Set your trap. You set your trap and hide behind a nearby bush to wait for your prey. After a while, you start to get very bored and remember that people who hunt with traps don't typically sit and wait for the prey to show up. Instead, they leave and come back later. That's kind of the whole point of animal traps. I will leave, and I will come back later. Can I talk to the foreman now? They'll figure it out. They'll slowly build their ways up to our humaning ways, even if it takes them an extended period. But now I'll go fight the horrors that exist in this room. They're truly terrifying, and the wriggling maggots themselves are gross too. These flies are large and aggressive. That's 2 understatements for the price of 1. Oh god, they just get a first turn, hey? You sneak. Nearly back to full health, pretty good. Giant fly, they are not strong at all. Smear nasty goo on future. Oh yeah, the future me. Yeah, okay, that's funny. I don't know if I had really noticed that that's what he was getting referred to as. I don't necessarily know how I missed that, but there it is. Excellent! You won! No unusually large flies on you. Excellent. And the maggots? A pile of squirming maggots, also a squirming pile of giant maggots. Because there's just 2 of them? Giant pile of squirming maggots. Oh, a squirming pile of giant maggots. Yes, I see. Haul the pile out of the frog bog. This seems like a task that's going to be either very arduous or super disgusting, and probably both. Fortunately, I never bothered to mention the large tarp that you've been carrying around in case of emergencies. So you're able to use that to gather up all the maggots into a large bundle and deliver it to the bog like the universe's worst Santa Claus. Ho ho ho! You deposit the huge pile of maggots in the swamp. Hey guys, sorry about the whole changing you back into humans thing falling through. Brought you some delicious maggots though. Have fun? The frogs do not seem all that grateful, to be honest. Oh well, you guys suck then. I tried my absolute hardest. I don't expect to get a gift, Grammy. Spit in my mouth like that. Not just looked in, spit. You probably should just leave the frogs for now. They're not too happy with you. If you ever see another maggot again, it'll be too soon. You guys are mean, and I want no part of it. See ya. Jesus, so many discoveries. You catch a whiff of burnt rubber and see a column of smoke drifting on the sky nearby. As you get closer to the site, you see that a small airplane has crashed into the mud, or perhaps splattered or glorped into the mud. Keep going where I'm going. We'll get to the crash site eventually. That seems like incredibly non-pressing. That'll be a way down the line thing. Or, you know, like an hour from now. Somewhere in between. It's possible. It's a back way out of the cave. Oh. Okay. It's just a quick exit then. Well, now I will go to Barbara's hut. As long as I manage to. You're browsing your way through the swamp, taking a sniff through your nose trumpet now and then. This swamp smells terrible. I mean, a swamp is literally just standing water and rotting compost. The biome. So it's not like there's news or anything, but you wouldn't be surprised if this swamp was at least nominated for world's worst smelling swamp. Oh God in heaven, what is that? Something smells like a rotten egg matted with a tire fire. And the egg the tire fire laid also went rotten. Squinting through the tears, you see a patch of brown air hovering nearby. This must be the smell of the wisp the kid was looking for. Follow at a safe distance, because I don't have the stench armor. The smell of the wisp bobs and weaves through the fetid marsh. Eventually, it comes to rest on a rotting tree stump, and you sneak up quietly behind it. Just as you're about to grab a sample, 3 gatormen casually stand up from where they are crouched in the knee-deep water around you. Don't mess with me, scum! Don't you think it's a lovely day? The gatormen beat the hell out of you. By the time you wake up, the smell of the wisp is long gone. Sprained elbow. It really hurts a lot. Ow, my elbow. I don't actually even, like... It doesn't even affect anything. It just hurts. That's ridiculous. That's pretty funny, honestly. Where did I end? Is this the monster shack? Where did I just go to? Oh, yeah, the Barbara's hut. Yes, okay. I'm okay with that. This isn't so much a bird bath as a bird dirtier. Well, obviously, I'm going to go fishing in it. Fish in a sack. The worst amount of meat. Just useless, truly. Yeah. Most of the fishing spots in this game kind of amount to nothing, and on the third time, still not even anything. This cattail looks different from most of the others. And there's like a weird lone one here. Ah, Typha panthera. Typha is cattails. Collect its mane. That's funny. You extract powerful chemicals, grit and shellac. None of that makes a ton of sense. Ooh, a hobo code that I can't actually read. Where? Oh, it's on the tree trunk there. They're getting more hidden, and I'm wondering if I'm like legitimately missing them now and again. This is probably excessive, but I will forget about it otherwise. So I'm just gonna run back and deal with this. Presumably the Moss Man took my advice and came back here. People just taking their naps and things, I'll leave them to it. Hopefully, there he is. Oh, yeah, minus a mustache. Looks a little silly, but that's fine. Hey, Clyde. Hey, Grammy, right? Thanks for pointing me this place. It's pretty great. Everyone's real friendly-like. Nice. See, aren't missing the solitude of the swamp? Nope. Turns out that's much less important to me than just being able to sit still and not do much. I've been helping out by growing herbs for the kitchen here. Ask about hobo code. Sure, I picked up a couple signs. Here's the one for keep off the grass. Thanks kindly. I I think there might be another hobo there that I've sent. No, the boxcar. I think the boxcar is what I'm thinking of. You find an interesting looking rock half buried in the muck. You yank it out to reveal it wasn't interesting after all. It's a nice free experience still. Hobo code it is. Ask this gal for a treat. It's like not even the first time that that's come up, I think. Oh, she looks very happy. You cautiously enter the spooky hut and discover it's actually really nice inside. A young woman with a rather twig-oriented hat greets you. Oh, hello, please come in. I don't get many visitors apart from the birds. I might be in the wrong place. Are you Barbara Yagera? That's right. And you are? Grammy of the Valley. Pleasure. Come in, come in. She seems perfectly sweet. This chess set is nothing but rooks on one side and nothing but doves on the other. Ooh, a hatch in the corner there. Interesting. Arcane oven. Nah, I don't want to do any of that. A bed with a feather pillow. Lots of feather-related things around here. It's Barbara's vanity. Indulge your own vanity. Ah, yeah, same thing. You would just be able to change your face. A small bird bath. Ask Barbara about it. I've never seen an indoor bird bath before. Oh, that was a gift. It's too small for my birds, though. Ah, that's too bad. Barbara does not appear to have set out a feast for her crows. But she smiles pleasantly. This is a really nice house. To be honest, I wasn't expecting everything to be a lot more, witchy. Was expecting. Oh, you've heard the old stories. Those were about my granny. She was really into croning. Croning? Being a crone, all the really old traditional magic stuff. She lived to be nearly 200 years old. When she passed, she left me this house and all her birds and so on. I see. Is that why you're here, chasing the old legends of Barbara Yagera? Well, not exactly. I met a kid who's into old stories, but he's afraid he might be the child. You might be the child-eating kind of witch, so he sent me instead. Haha, that's adorable. I don't think I've ever eaten a child, but there's no telling what's in Granny's stews. I'm not sure if that was meant as a joke or... Sure! Anyway, I'm supposed to bring back a feather? Maybe that'll be like weirdly offensive to her and she will get all evil on me. Wicked. To prove that I met you? Okay, I can't just give you one though. Ugh, are you sure? Yes, sorry. I have to give you some kind of test first. It's a traditional thing. Well, what sort of test? Well, it's a lot of work keeping this room clean, what with the birds and all. I'm getting behind on my other chores. Ugh, chores. Or you could fight me. Fight you? Granny trained all these birds to be killers, but I haven't exactly been out looking for trouble like she used to do, so they could use some exercise, Can I have a little treat first? Oh, sure, dear. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a breath mint. This breath mint was stuffed into the bottom of a purse in 1880 and only recently was rediscovered. Increase Moxie by 1 and item drops by 20. Thanks, Barbara. How about those chores? I'd need you to muck out the bird bath out front and pick the ripe cattails out of my cattail patch for me. That's only 2 things. Is there a third thing? Of course, but I'll tell you that after you finish the first 2. Let's just fight. No, I'll do the chores. Great. You can tell the ripe cattails by how they look a little different. And I'm sure you saw the bird bath when you came in. I did indeed. I did indeed see that. Sleaze and stench armor. I have the sleaze, the stench armor. I should be able to just slap on the handkerchief. As long as I remember where that's at. It's an accessory. Yes, okay. Muck it out. You slop the filth out of the bird bath and hide it behind a tree where no one can see it. Yeah, that's all I would do too. Just go chuck that in a corner somewhere. No need to make a bigger deal out of it. It might be a pick one. Pick it. Ripe cattail. Pick another one. Picadillo. A cattail is ripe, which I suppose means it's suitable for whatever purpose Barbara uses them for. I thought we were going to find out that those were people turned into cattails or something. Maybe that's too close to the frog plotline, but it was weird that there was one by itself, the crypto-botanist one. It looked like it was the instructor for the rest of them or something. Hello, how are those chores going? I crushed it. I've finished. Here you go. Great, thanks. So what's the mysterious third task? Go down in the basement and fetch a sack of birdseed for me. Basement? How do you have a basement in a swamp? Good question. It's weird, I know. I think Granny's magic keeps it from collapsing. It, also makes it kind of scary down there. You have a flashlight, right? Yes, but I also bring darkness. I just went and tied his shoe immediately after. I thought he was like doing a weird darkness-related thing. Trapdoor leads to the basement. And I am going to use the flashlight. This fuse box is broken beyond repair. You have no choice but to dwell in the darkness. Wow, Barbara wasn't kidding about it being uncomfortably dark down here. I only need 1 spooky armor. Then away I go. Hey, rat friends. How long is this basement? You're pretty sure you would have reached the back wall by now. Okay, so there are going to be like a number of filters, and I don't think I have very good spooky defenses. I could chug down a few things. Potion, that's just a hat. Oh, I would only raise... This would only raise it by 2. It would be up to 3. I could throw on those pants. Okay, that's all I'll do. Accessory, pants, visor. 6 is not going to take me very far, but let's see what we can get out of that. Go deeper. Makes sense why she keeps this thing in the basement. Why? Turn back. The scariest thing about this is the kerning. Just spaced out poorly. You don't particularly want to know what this puddle consists of. More rats. Geez, that's a lot of rats. Are they whispering, "Get out"? You can hear that, right? It's not just me. It's getting freaky down here. Oh god, the wall is bleeding here. The ground has started to shake and bits of dirt are falling from the ceiling. The rumbling noise almost sounds like someone growling, "Your soul is mine." Shang Tsung, is that you? This seems like bad news. The whole thing is like shaking. And that isn't my neighbors renovating. These might be the original Barbara Yagera magic books. Unfortunately, it's as dark as the inside of a dog down here. Dang, I was hoping I could pluck a magic book and learn a thing or two. 5 seemed like a good target. I thought 5 or like 9, 10. The ground is shaking more violently, furiously even. The walls howl, "Die, fool," at you as rocks falling from the ceiling threaten to bury you alive. Well, assuming that I might have to take on a fight in the next like second or two here, I think I'm going to quickly swap myself back. Are these the pants that I've just mostly been committing to? I thought I swapped out to a different one eventually. No, that's the only one that has like all of those upgrades applied. The bird seed are just way at the back. Get the seed and get out of here. Bag of bird seed. Ha ha ha. You should plant this if you want to grow a field of birds. Ho ho ho. That really getting a laugh out of yourself there. All right, that was it then. They're just way the hell back there. Hey, rat buddies. They're very cute. I like them. And we can go deal with the Shadow Rift. Bird. Ooh. Leave this strange bird house. Ooh, quite the sound. This bird speaks in an eerily articulate human voice. It is what? Starve you, it eat you if. It need rich thee, and it have poor thee. Shadow, the then darker, and infinity then greater is it. So what is it? I'm guessing you just have to rearrange words. You starve if you eat it. It need rich thee, and it have the poor, and it need the rich. Something like that. Shadow, the then darker, and infinity. It's darker than the shadow and greater than infinity. Answer the riddle. A cot. You starve if you eat it. If you're rich, then you need it. And if you're poor, then you have it, I think is probably what that's supposed to be. It's darker than a shadow and greater than infinity. You starve if you eat it. This seems fun. I also don't know if it would be rich have it, poor have it, need it. This feels like one I've probably heard before. What if I just type a cot? Incorrect. Shucks. You starve if you eat it. It's got to be something like not an actual food. If you're poor, you have it. If you're rich, you need it. Is more likely. If you're rich, you have everything. If you're poor, you need everything. So I'm guessing it's a flip of that. Darker than a shadow and greater than infinity. Night. No, you can't. Is it actually something you would be able to eat? Like, legitimately? I don't know. Part of the nothingness is missing here. Oh, I do like the sound effect of talking to the crow. Very cool. I'm going to have to think on this one for a minute. I'll tell you guys if I cheat. I'll tell you guys if I look it up. But I'm going to think and brainstorm a little bit first before I just give up on it entirely. Oh, I literally, I think, said the inverse of it out loud. Because I said, the rich have everything, and the poor need everything. And so what is the thing that the rich need and the poor have? That you would starve if you ate it, which that is so familiar. Like, I've definitely heard this before. I don't know if it's literally out of The Hobbit or just some other package of riddles. It's darker than a shadow, greater than infinity. It's as dark as it gets. It's as big as it gets. Nothing. Nothing. If you eat nothing, you starve. If you're rich, you need nothing. If you're poor, you have nothing. Nothing is darker than... It was in my brain there somewhere, but it took me like, I don't even know. I was thinking about that shit for like 5 minutes. A sepia clementine. No, it is nothing. Classic riddle. Correct. Hooray! Oh, is there more riddling to be done? Damn it. It is what? Eclipse every surrounds and beer your fills it. What? Is it just random shuffling, or is there a system? Because I just figured it out through random reshuffling last time. It for use no has shadow, the though space and time of end, the end everything of beginning. What the hell? Is it some sort of weird thing where I alternate how I read it? I wish I could look back at the other one and try and reverse engineer how the words are scrambled. Eclipse every surrounds and beer your fills it. Your beer fills it. Every beer. I don't know, man. That's like, I honestly don't know how to read those words, what order they need to be in. It has no use for shadow, though space and time, the end of everything, and the beginning. It is... Do I just read it backwards? It fills your beer and surrounds every eclipse. It is the beginning of everything and the end of time and space, though the shadow has no use for it. Is that all I was supposed to do, is just read it backwards? Would that have worked last time? I was way overthinking that, if that's true. It is the beginning of everything and the end of time and space, though the shadow has no use for it. It fills your beer. Why is it beer? And surrounds every eclipse. That's like such a weird thing that doesn't fit the rest of this. Is it nothing? Incorrect. Shucks. It fills your beer is such a strange part of a riddle and surrounds every eclipse. Night. It is the beginning of everything. Dark. The end of time and space, though the shadow, uppercase, has no use for it. Light. I don't think that really makes all sense. It fills your beer is breaking my brain. And surrounds every eclipse. The moon? The beginning of everything, though, fills your beer. Hops, malts, grains, water? That doesn't make any sense. I might have to look this one up. I'll give it some more thought. Oh, that, I was never going to get that. I had to look that one up after a while. The answer is the letter E. It is the beginning of everything. It's the first letter in the word everything. And the end of time and space, though the shadow has no use for it. There's no E in shadow. It fills your beer, so there's two E's in the middle, and surrounds every eclipse. It's on either side of it. I was not going to get that one on my own. I'm guessing there's going to be a third riddle, and this one's probably going to be the hardest. The bird speaks. Its voice sounds louder and further away. It is what? What is it? It is near. It is consuming all. It is inevitable. Well, now do you just want me to write like shadow? The bird nods and fades away. All right, there we go. I got that one pretty quickly. Weird cosmic egg. A throbbing ring of energy around what appears to be an egg. Okay. Well, that was fun. Interesting is another word for it. Cool lady. I think I got your stuff taken care of for ya. Hey, how are those chores going? Here's your sack of birdseed. You know of undersold. You kind of undersold how scary it is down there. Sorry about that. Maybe I can learn a charm to keep the mice away. And the voices, the bleeding walls. Doesn't sound familiar. Maybe your flashlight was acting up. Anyway, thanks. Here's the feather I promised. We got the feather. It's a feather from one of Barbara's birds, not Barbara herself. Well, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. The Flemberg was the fly, the whole fly thing. So that one maybe would be worth investigating. I'm just thinking for a second here. Maybe that's too much. Ooh, let's try. It's a ways away, and I'll probably get interrupted. This is actually great, actually. This is what I wanted, was to be interrupted with one of these that I set up, or the honey ape. Despite anything the map might have to say about it, you've managed to wander back to the spot where you set the trap for the chupanaranja. Yeah, I did that way over there. Peering through the bushes, you discover that your trap has indeed trapped something. It sort of looks like a giant toad with a tentacle face covered in boils that might also be eyes. You have no idea what a chupanandra looks like, but this seems about as likely as anything you were imagining. The presumed chupanaranja seems pretty annoyed about being caught in the trap. You carefully sneak up on it, since it's both distracted by the trap and also unable to turn around. You manage to take it completely unawares. It struggles futilely as you grab it in a headlock and slice off one of its nostrils. Brutal. The creature roars in pain and anger, but by the time it manages to thrash its way out of the trap, you're already completely the heck out of there. A ring of flesh perfectly crafted by natural selection to seek out the mightiest of oranges. Well, now I don't even want to go to the Flemberg place. Ew. Real snotty out here, isn't it? Because this seems like a whole thing. So, this fly away from here, far, far away. That's funny. Well, that's one of those things where I'm going to have to keep it in mind to come back there. Because now it will no longer have new written on it, even though I haven't done it at all. Okay, walking on its hand. Honey ape, follow the tracks. Geez, the more you look, the more confusing, trampled mess the tracks are. It seems like there are different sets of tracks heading in different directions. How many thumbs did he say this thing has again? On one hand? 1. How many fingers was it? 4. You follow the prints to a clearing in the middle of a small stand of trees. To your surprise, you find an animal pretty much like the honey ape the kid described. Like a somewhat larger chimpanzee or a very small gorilla, but with disproportionately large and human-like hands. It's sitting on the ground, casually drinking out of a beehive, and doesn't seem to have noticed you. I almost want to fight it just to be able to see it, but I'm going to sneak up on it. You successfully creep up on the unsuspecting primate, but you run out of the trees and brush to hide behind trees and brush to hide behind before you get close enough to really do anything. Outsmart it. You pick up a rock and chuck it into the underbrush on the other side of the clearing. The honey ape stiffens at the noise and starts scanning for predators in that direction. Grab it! You leap on the small primate and wrestle it to the ground. Screeching loudly, I mean, the primate is Screech. No, let's be fair, you both are. Once you get it pinned, you grab it by the wrist and yank off one of the long, untrimmed fingernails. Which, thinking about it, makes you wince. And I've written some pretty horrible stuff in this game alone. The honey ape fingernail, a totally normal-sized fingernail. Marvel at it. Ah, dang, now I won't get to see him. With that horrible deed accomplished, you've let the creature loose and it runs screaming into the swamp. Congratulations on successfully stalking, outsmarting, and assaulting a small weird ape. Thanks. I do feel quite good about that. I truly earned it. What do you want? What do you want, Boris? Come on. The chupanaranja. It looked pretty fierce, but the trap did the job. Wow, that's great. Now we have real proof for why there aren't any oranges in the swamp. Sure. Anyway, here's its nostril. Neat. I'll wear it as a ring. Okay, anyway, don't go near the part of the swamp for a while. It was real mad. The kid takes your sash, pins another badge on it, and hands it back to you. Maximum HP from that one. So maybe this will end up being better than my double emerald ring necklace, but I feel like I kind of have to commit to that, considering the horrible course I ended up setting everyone on through it. The Barbara Yagera, you mean from one of her birds, right? Right, yeah, she doesn't have feathers herself. We established that. Good, just checking. Here you go. Wow, thanks, mister. What was she like? Pretty nice, actually. Don't go in her basement, though. Pins another one on my sash. You can use one additional combat item per round. That's fine, even though I literally just like never use them. I did find the smell of the wisp, but have not figured that one out yet. You were right, the honey ape is totally a real thing. Oh my gosh, really? I knew it. Here's your tracing back and the fingernail you wanted. Wow. Huh. Something wrong? I guess I'm just torn between excitement, vindication, and the fact that this is much grislier object than I realized it was going to be. Grislier. Oh, don't worry about it. The honey ape will be fine. It had 9 more. I guess that's true. Anyway, thanks for your help. Here's another Monster Squad badge. This one adds muscle. So this sash is quite good. But, you know, I just don't know. The smell of the wisp has not been dealt with, and I have not met the flyman. I would have to go back to the phlegm unit area. Maybe I'll do that next time. Be sure to pitch me on some episode titles. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.